Mark 6, verse 4 says, Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house." This line from Jesus comes in the context of Jesus' return visit to his hometown of Nazareth. This follows after last week's sermon. It follows from Jesus' visit to the Gadarenes and to Jairus' house. But as the Lord saw when he came home, his reception was much different than what it should have been. As he would in any other town, Jesus went to the synagogue and began to teach. Many came out to hear him. They were astonished, but with a different kind of astonishment. As we've seen throughout our study of Mark, folks are often astonished in a good way at the Lord's teaching. But here their astonishment was that of unbelief, right? Unbelief that was mixed with pride and with envy. This is apparent in what they were saying. So this is earlier, Mark 6, verses 2 through 3. It says, "Those who heard Jesus were saying, 'Where did this man get these things? And what wisdom is this which is given to him, that such mighty works are performed by his hand?' And listen to them continue. They say, 'Is this not the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, Judas and Simon, and are not his sisters here with us?' So they were offended at him," Mark writes. Right, so on the one hand, these Nazarenes, they could not deny Jesus' wisdom. They did not deny the mighty works that were performed by his hand. But they would say, "Isn't this the guy that we grew up with, that we went to school with, whose family we know?" And so their hearts were hardened. For all his wisdom, for all his merciful works, they wrote Jesus off. A little later, Mark writes that Jesus was in turn astonished at their unbelief. Thus, the fulfillment of an old proverb of the time, "A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house." We also have a proverb like this. You've doubtless heard it. Right? It goes like this: "Familiarity breeds contempt." Right? Familiarity breeds contempt. Jesus was despised not because of anything he said. In fact, his teachings were impressive. Not for anything he did, his works were marveled at. He was despised simply because they knew him. Right? He was too familiar to them. They knew his family. They knew where he grew up. For no fault of his own, the prophet was held without honor because he was too familiar. Right? He was too familiar. Now, this social phenomenon wasn't new with Jesus, and it did not pass away with his generation. We are all susceptible to what is going on in this passage. And why is that the case? Well, because we are all susceptible to pride and to envy. Right? The reality is that we have a much harder time receiving correction, acknowledging excellence, admiring virtue, giving honor, respecting skill. We have a much harder time with these things when the person is someone that we know. Right? And the more we know them, the harder these things become. Now, this is not necessarily because we know better their faults and flaws. While that is true to an extent, it certainly wasn't true in our text. Right? Jesus, he had no fault. He had no flaw. We instead like to make that our excuse. But really, if we are honest with ourselves, this is difficult because we are envious. Right? We are filled with ourselves, and we cannot stand a rival. Right? We cannot stand a rival. And our rival, it is not the guy out there. It is our brother. It is our friend. It is our neighbor. Right? That is who our rival is. And so, like these townsfolk, these fellow Nazarenes, instead of submitting to our brother's wise counsel, receiving our father's correction, acknowledging our friend's excellence and virtue, honoring one another, supporting one another, instead of doing these things, we, like them, we take offense. Right? We are offended by them. And why? Well, because again, he is our rival. Right? He is our familiar. We know him too well, and this is really important, we want to rule over him. Right? Not be ruled over. We want to rule over him. We want to be his better. Right? Not have him be better than us. So I think we should revise our old proverb. It's not so much familiarity that breeds contempt. It is envy. Right? Envy breeds contempt. And envy must either kill or be killed. And so let us learn from these Nazarenes. Let us not become, as Paul writes, conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. This is Galatians 5. but let us rather seek to outdo one another in showing honor. That's in Romans 12. So as we reflect on this, let us sing together Psalm 63, O Lord my God, most earnestly, song number 119 in the Cantus, 119.